Welcome to the weather factory, kids. I greet them in my white coat and hard hat. All the foals in front of me are dressed up the same way. I'll be your guide for the day, Rainbow Dash. The foals all cheered. One little filly cheered louder than the others. Now just follow me. Right here is where we make the spectra. Right through these doors. Come on, no need to be shy. Get closer, closer. Gotcha! That's why I asked you to put on the sunglasses earlier. Quite a sight, isn't it? Dozens of Pegasi concentrate the sunlight. And once it's the right consistency, it's separated into its 7 pieces. If we did it before hoof, we'd have to gather up the 7 colors separately. Foals all oohed and awed. One filly got too close to the rail, but I caught her. Look out, kiddo. Don't want you falling in. What, you get a mane like yours? Nah, this mane is 100% natural, thank you very much. I grinned. The entire factory shook. A giant dragon tore its way through the cloud walls. I saved my favorite guest from falling in a second time. The dragon dunked its head in and began gulping down rainbows. Every pony that can fly, help those who can't and get out, I ordered. I then shouted at the foals, follow me, don't stop and don't look back. With my favorite filly on my back, we raced back the way we came. Then I suddenly felt a bit lighter. I turned to see she was now in the claws of the dragon. Let her go! I roared, forgetting the other foals who screamed for help. Which one? I gasped when I saw who the dragon had in its other claw. Twilight. I'm in the mood for Kazakh cuisine, but I'm on a diet. Which one should I go with? Or maybe I should have both, to Tartarus with dieting. What do you think? Might want to hurry, you look busy. I pointed behind me. A fog container had broken open and was pushing the foals away from the exit faster than they swam through it. They were going to crash into the smashed machinery like rocks in a riptide. So what's it going to be? A weighty choice is yours to make, the right selection or a big mistake. If a wrong choice you choose to pursue, those you love will perish without you. I screamed and dove right into the dragon's guts. No! I knocked her and Twilight out of its claws. They're falling too fast. I can't build up speed in time. No, please, please! I gasped awake, panting and drenched in sweat. My wings are spread out behind me. These nightmares, how long have I been having them? This is like when I saw that side of Gilda I never knew existed, or wanted to know. Huh? Gilda? Where was Gilda? I haven't thought of her since whenever. No, I didn't just not think of her. I didn't remember her. What the hell? Sure, she turned out to have been a jerk, or maybe I just stopped being a jerk and she stayed one, but she was still my real friend once. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of stuff I don't know. I'm sick of my friends not acting like my friends. I'm sick of stuff I can't change. I'm sick of being made to jump through hoops. The others aren't awake yet. I trot outside without them. I wandered out of the Everfree without running into any trouble. It was dawn. I looked up to see Cloudsdale, the same as it always was. No dragon flying about, no Pegasi falling from it. No Pegasi. No Pegasi. I growled. I've had enough. I do a cold start and zoom up to Cloudsdale, creating a shockwave on the ground. I cut through the air like a knife. I don't bother trying for a graceful landing. I pierce the foundations like a bullet, leaving a hole behind and creating a ring of clouds around me as I land, creating an impression in the clouds as I do. I look around. Not a Pegasus in sight. No pony walking, opening their shops, flying around. It's like a ghost town. I snort air and stomp my hooves. Okay, how the fuck is this supposed to make sense? Where's the Cloudsdale delivery teams? The guards? The shops should be opening. The streets are never deserted. Suddenly I hear a bunch of noise behind me and turn around. There are Pegasi crowding the streets, the stores open and shouting for potential customers. Guards standing at attention, Pegasi taking off and landing every which way. They had not been there a second before. I growled. Hey Dash, what's got your feathers in a knot? You okay? I turned to see Spitfire there in her flight suit. I snorted and flew in her face. Spitfire, what are you doing here right now? Being awake? Not much else. It's morning, Dash. I haven't even done my morning practice yet. No, I mean, what were you doing right here, right now? Why did you come right here to this place? It wasn't to talk to me. You couldn't have known I was here before. No, I didn't. I just came... Trick question. I made a big entrance. I poked a hole in Cloudsdale. You didn't see that? You what? You didn't see or notice? I didn't. So what were you doing before? Spitfire's eyes widened. I don't remember at all. I can't, it's like I woke up right here. But I wasn't sleepwalking, it's like I went to bed right after you last visited. When did you last visit? What is going on here? All the Pegasi just continued to happily trot on by. No pony noticed the maker of the Sonic Rainboom with the captain of the Wonderbolts in plain view. Why are you wearing your full flight suit when you told me you were going to be practicing? I was just wearing it? Me and Soren wore them for the Grand Galloping Gala, remember? That was a public event. I know you don't wear them just flying around Cloudsdale like you're doing right now, so why? Spitfire shook her head, her eyes doing the 1,000-yard stare. I don't know. Spitfire began shaking. Rainbow Dash, what is going on? She repeated. What could I say? What did I dare say? Sure, I told Rarity, but Rarity wasn't surrounded by ponies who were... I don't know what. I can't say. Dash, you saved my life and Soren's and Missy Fly's. Let me help you. You're my friend. Save your life and 2 of your friends. We hang out for 1 afternoon as part of the prize for me winning Best Young Flyer. Then at the Grand Galloping Gala, we spend most of the time with you being pulled away every 3 seconds for photos. That makes us friends. Spitfire stomped her hoof. You think I enjoyed that evening any more than you did? I was going to have more fun hanging with you than having pictures taken for the 100th time that night. But Sora and me were the highest ranking Wonderbolts there. We had responsibilities. I'm sorry, but this isn't the time to be a jerk about it. This isn't like you. How well do you even know me? I know you well enough to know you do not look well. I want to help, and so would my teammates. But I can't help unless you tell me what's wrong, she pleaded. I snorted. If you want to help, make me a Wonderbolt. Rainbow, you know I can't just do that. Though if that's really what you want, I guess we can have you measured for a spite suit. I clutched her by the shoulders hard. There! Does it make any sense you'd say that? I narrowed my eyes as Spitfire's eyes widened. Of course it makes sense. It's what you want? Spitfire began shaking. She gritted her teeth. No, it doesn't. How do I know you're Spitfire? How do I know you're Rainbow Dash? She whispered. I saw a snarling blue mare reflected in her eyes. I know who I am. Spitfire cried out as my grip tightened. You're hurting me! No pony around us reacted. I pushed her back as I let go. Spitfire rubbed the spots I grabbed her. She looked around. I think she realized none of the Pegasi were paying attention to us. Dash, you're scaring me. She looked at me, seeming more worried than scared. Please, calm down, breathe. I don't know what's going on, but I get the feeling you don't either, or you wouldn't be this strung up. Please, maybe we can figure out what's going on together. I trusted Rarity. Follow me, Dash, Spitfire said as she led me straight to the Wonderbolt Stadium. It's funny, I just remembered. Fleetfoot has a cold and the others are all booked up. Maybe after we solve this you'd like to be a Wonderbolt for a day? It's a charity performance for Ponyville orphans, so maybe... And I saw them. All those Wonderbolts waiting obediently, standing in a row like action figures. No surprise, no curiosity, just a row of blank faces. Spitfire didn't seem to notice. It all made sense. I should have known better. I wasn't about to follow this puppet. Go back to sleep, Spitfire, I snorted and dived back down the hole I came from. Dash! I glanced back. I wish I could say I was surprised I didn't spot any Pegasi from a distance. I flew above Ponyville, taking in everything like I always do. I don't think any of my friends realize how much I look out for while flying, how easy it is to search the town. I'm trying to spot ponies acting unusual, but nope, everything is normal. The cakes opened their shop right on time. Sea-Swirl looks in the fountains and smiles this morning, right on time. There's Daisy, opening the flower shop a minute after the cakes do like she does every Thursday, right on time. Junebug opens her window and greets the day, right on time. Raven is greeted by Mayor Mayor's husband and daughter fair ruling, right on time. The twins open their doors, and here comes, what a beautiful day! And we're ready to make any pony more beautiful if they care to. Would you like to, Rose? One asks as the redhead comes by. Not today, thanks. Right on time. Lemon Tiara and Silver Spoon grin evilly and whisper to each other just around the corner, plotting their next doom scheme to humiliate the Crusaders. Everything sure seems normal. Everything's happening right on time. Right on time. Like the fight with the dragon the day before yesterday never happened. Ponyville always snapped back, no matter the disaster. Be it a stampede or parasprites, you either toughed it out or moved. Sure, me and my friends got our scrapes and bruises, but when was the last time me and my friends got so much as a paper cut on any of our adventures? I remember all the bruises I'd gotten from training. It was just par for the course. So many of my adventures lately, and not so much as a scratch. Here, Miss Rainbow Dash. I turned to see a pink Pegasus with a cupcake cutie mark. Some cupcakes for Ponyville's hero. She smiled, flopping her wings. Doesn't she live in Cloudsdale? No thanks. Give them to the orphanage. But they're for you. She sounded confused and worried. And I want you to give them to the orphanage instead. But no pony ever... I ignored her and landed on the ground. I'll look around. These things like order so much? Well, I'll have add some chaos into the mix. I spotted Lyra and Bonbon sharing some morning tea. I struck the teacup out of Bonbon's grip and onto the ground. Hey! Lyra stood up. Bonbon snapped. What do you think you're doing? Oh, my Celestia! She stared at the broken teacup. I looked down. The tea had turned a sickly green color. Poison? Lyra gasped. You saved Bonbon. Thank you, she whispered, stunned.
Wahaha!
An ugly unicorn stood up on the next table over to us and twirled his mustache.
You may have foiled my evil scheme to get Bonbon's candy store, but you'll never catch me!
He ran away at full gallop. I just stood there. Aren't you gonna do something? He tried to kill Bonbon. Why aren't you? I asked evenly. Bonbon's your partner, right? Bonbon turned pink. Lyra opened her mouth and closed it with a pained look.
Blast!
An identical ugly pony stood up at yet another table.
You may have seen through my illusion decoy, but you'll still never catch me!
Lyra grabbed him with her magic. He didn't even try fighting back. So that's what you were doing? You're the greatest. Thank you. Lyra smiled and nodded. I didn't answer. I trotted over to an open window at Sugar Cube Corner's kitchen, grabbed a pie slice, and stuffed my face. Oh, how nice to see you. I was making that pie just for you. Mrs. Cake smiled and nodded. I threw the rest of the pie right at her face. She lowered her head at the last second. Let me get you a napkin. It hit Pinkie Pie, who was right behind her, square in the face. Pinkie Pie used that freaky big tongue of hers to wipe it off her face. Haha! Classic gag, Dashi. Let me cook up some more later and we'll have a real pie fight right after the party. I marched straight up to Big Mac's apple stand and grabbed and ate an apple without paying. Then I noticed a sign that says free sample today. I snorted and ate another one. Extra for heroes. And another. Extra extra for elements of harmony. Ugh!
Enjoy.
Big Mac smiled and nodded. I spotted Granny Smith. I grabbed the vine off the flower shop wall and zoomed up behind her, waving it and making a hissing noise. Ah! A rattler! Run for the hills! Then she noticed me.
Ha! Good one, youngster.
She smiled and nodded. I staggered back. This wasn't about everything being nice. This wasn't about everything being orderly. I spotted Derpy. I zoomed over to her mailbag and pulled out a letter and ripped it in half. Thank goodness, I totally regret writing that letter to my sister. Thank you! Cheerily called, spotting the torn letter from the ground. She has a sister? Not the point. Wow, that was nice of you, Rainbow Dash. You're a hero! Derpy cheered, clapping with her wings, and fell on her butt as a result. Ow, my bad! Sorry I didn't catch you there. It's okay. I fell because I'm such a big dummy. What did you say? I fell because I'm a big dummy. I'm sorry. You weren't a dummy when you aced that test in grade school. Oh, I cheated. Guess I was jealous of your totally radical awesomeness that could never compare to mine because I was a total dweeb. Ha! I knew... I started that rumor. Felt sick again for the second time in so many days. I trotted away drunkenly, the world shifting under my hooves. I staggered into Sugar Cube Corner. I didn't bump into anything. In fact, I just so happened to fall on some nice comfy pillows. How lovely. My head was spinning. I looked around, seeing fools playing games that didn't go anywhere. Generic din that I couldn't even make out. I don't know how long I sat there, until Pinkie Pie gave me a piece of cake. I didn't care anymore. I ate it. You okay, Dashi? Pinkie Pie rubbed my mane. No, not at all. Wanna talk about it? Does it matter what I want? Of course it does, Dashi. You're one of my friends. Just leave me alone for now, Pinkie. She frowned a little, but nodded and trotted off. I look around some more. There's a big banner on the wall saying, Happy Anniversary, Kimimar Crusaders. There was nothing to indicate how many years they'd been together. Cake, sodas, games, everything a fool would want for a party is here. The guests of honor are, of course, the center of attention. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon giggle evilly and put hot sauce in 3 punch cups. Pinkie Pie comes along and drinks all 3 and hops away. Then Diamond Tiara hits the table angrily, and the hot sauce is launched up and spills on both of them, getting in their eyes. They run away crying, and every pony points and laughs at them, then get right back to partying without missing a beat. Sweetie took the karaoke machine by storm. She didn't look any worse for having spent the night at Sakura's. Where was Rarity? Was she alright? Could she be alright? Had Sweetie snuck off here? Or had Rarity let her go because it'd be improper or whatever for Sweetie to miss a party? I should have asked. I could have asked. I didn't. Dinky was now having her mane styled. Ponyville's #1 Pegasus filly sat behind her, smiling. Wow, you're really good at this, Bright Knight, Dinky said, looking in a mirror. Thanks. I learned a lot from my mom, said the markless pink Pegasus. She looked right at me and waved. Would you like me to braid your hair next, Rainbow Dash? My heart stopped beating. Orange filly, skateboard, always scooting along, never giving up. Little wings buzzing like an insect's. My heart started again with a shockwave threatening to burst my blood vessels. Pink filly? Books and combs? Always reading and playing hairdresser? Loving to help solve problems? Teacher's pet? Wings flapping like a dove's? No, 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 no! I stood up. Everything came into focus. I felt my head clear. I felt calm, like a north wind washing over me. I trotted over. I put a smile on my face. Wow, Bright Knight. It's sure been a long time since you joined the Cutie Mark Crusaders, huh? Feels like a really short time to me, Bright Knight said. Aw, that's sweet of you to say, Bratnat. Apple Bloom hugged her. Bright Knight hugged her back. Then Sweetie hugged them both. Resisted the urge to retch. Feels like only yesterday to me. Maybe a bit longer than that. Bright Knight giggled shyly. Who cares? Us becoming friends was the best thing to ever happen! Sweetie Belle cheered. Yeah. Bright Knight nuzzled them. Being friends with you has been wonderful. You girls are the greatest. It's been ages since I made new friends before you, and I've loved every minute I get to spend with you. You're the bravest, most wonderful little fillies I know. Sweetie blushed bright red. Thanks. Thanks for the help with my homework yesterday, by the way. My pleasure. And thanks for letting me and Apple Bloom listen to you sing. Sweetie somehow turned redder. Just practicing for the next talent show. You'll do great. We'll do great. Apple Bloom gave Bright Knight a little noogie. The fillies all laughed. I coughed and said, in a perfectly even tone, Bright Knight, I'd love to have my mane styled, but do you mind if we do it outside? Bright Knight nodded. Okay. Apple Bloom, Sweetie, see you later. Be back while there's still cake, Dinky called. Pinkie Pie patted me on the shoulder. Remember, Dashie, if you give her a free ride, you gotta give the rest of the Cutie Mark Crusaders a ride, too. Don't worry, Pinkie, I'll never forget. Come along, Bright Knight, I said the last part teasingly, biting into the back of her neck. Ah! Sorry, I said, my smile widening as I tossed her onto my back like a sack of potatoes. Now hold on, I said, without giving her a chance to, zooming out of Sugar Cube Corner and leaving her breathless. I flew up at just low enough an angle that she couldn't slip off. Dash! The small pony yelled. I ignored her. I landed on a patch of clouds over Ponyville. Did the weather plan even call for them today? I don't care. I threw the weight off my back onto the bank in front of me. I grab her with my rear legs before she can get her wits together and dangle her over the side, swinging my legs back and forth, making sure she gets a good look at the ground. Who are you? What are you? Why are you doing all of this? I hissed. Dash, what are you doing? I asked you a question. Or maybe you'd like a do-or-die flying lesson? You know my name is Bright Knight. I'm a pony. Do what? I let her go for 1 millisecond and recatch her. No games, no running around. I asked why you're doing all of this. I don't know what you mean! I tightened my grip. Ponyville's been screwed up. We're all trapped like birds in a cage, and no pony even notices how fucked everything is. Got the entire town under mind control. What's the point in all this? And what's the point in making every pony yell nice to me? Are you that scared of me? You got nearly everything wrong. I'm not the enemy. I growled. Don't lie to me. If you're not the bad guy, then why did you replace... How could you steal her place? Did you want us as a private show? What right did you have? You made us your puppets. You stole my memories of her. You can't steal what was abandoned. Never even realized what you had until you lost it. Same as everyone. Enough with the stupid rail speak. What magic did you use? How do I break the curse? How do I save my friends and end your stupid game? I laid on the pressure for a little bit so she knew this game was over. Breathe. It's not my... The streamer wrapped itself around my waist like a snake and pulled me away from the edge, taking Bright Knight with me. She tumbled to a stop on the opposite side. I saw Pinkie Pie huffing and puffing on a cloud. She had the other end of the streamer wrapped around one hoof. Parked next to her was her crazy flying machine. I didn't want to interrupt until I got the whole story, but Rainbow Dash, have you gone crazy? Pinkie Pie, what are you even doing here? I looked around, not seeing any pony else. You were acting pretty dang weird. First you all, well, like me after I thought you were done being my friends. Then you were acting too much like me. I told myself that you just didn't want other ponies to see your mane getting styled, but I also told myself you were playing way too rough with Bright Knight when you left. And it told me back that Dashie's never so rough with foals that they start getting hurt. And your sorry didn't really sound like a sorry. Dashie's never not sorry for hurting some pony. But me said you like to scare foals and ponies a lot, but I said hurting and scaring aren't the same thing, and Pinkie Pie. She's not supposed to be here. Some pony else is. She stole their place somehow. She's cursed Ponyville. She's messed with their memories. She has you all under mind control. An evil filly witch? I guess that fits, but I don't feel brainwashed. I mean, I don't feel like I know I'm brainwashed. I mean, the last time I was brainwashed, I felt hatred for every pony. I was angry at everything. I thought the whole world was a bad guy. Pinkie Pie's eyes widened. And you didn't care about any pony. My eyes widened too. She's doing it right now! I kicked the monster in disguise through the air and sonic rainboomed her into the next lifetime. After all, that always breaks the curse. Except Pinkie Pie grabbed her out of the way before I could blast off, her hooves reaching further than they logically should have been able to when I wasn't looking. Now the brat had Pinkie Pie as a shield. Pinkie Pie pleaded. Dashie, please stop. This isn't you. No, it's all of you who aren't yourselves. And that means it's my job to knock you all back to normal. So if knocking that thing to Tartarus is the way to save all of you, then fine. Tashi, even if she's done all that, you can't just... Tashi, this is all wrong!
If it saves you, Ponyville, and all of Equestria, then it couldn't be more right!
Tashi... Pinkie Pie's eyes misted over. I tensed, ready to strike. Bright night, Pinkie Pie whispered. Go get help. I'll keep Tashi busy. The little monster nodded. If it's to save you and every pony, I'll fight you. And to stop you from becoming a monster, me too. I took a step forward.
Go! Pinkie threw the intruder into her flying machine and kicked one of the levers, sending her gizmo flying, not falling, towards the ground. I charged to Rainbow the imposter, promising to apologize to Pinkie for ruining her toy later, when I found myself staring down the barrel of her party cannon. I dove out of the way as it fired. I then dived after the thief, but got snapped back by Pinkie Pie. Dang it! I forgot about the streamer she had tied around me. I rip it off. Ugh, Pinkie Pie shot herself with her party cannon right into my stomach, head first! Off the clouds we go, into the opposite direction of the invader. We both crashed, tumbling head over hooves into Sweet Apple Acres. I pushed her away from me, and she lifted up a rock and reached under it. Sorry, Dashi. Good thing I keep boxing gloves stored around Ponyville in case of emergency. Huh? There was nothing under the rock. But that's impossible. I zigzagged towards Pinkie Pie and used Taekwondo to knock her out fast with a hook kick. But she used his Ji-chan to avoid my initial strike, leaving me open. Should've known Pinkie Pie knows drunken boxing. Pinkie Pie hesitates. That's fine by me. I smack her in the face and she falls over, but she bounces right back up. Hooves first. Ah! Give up, Pinkie. You can't match me in speed. I fly toward her, spinning like a drill. I still got better endurance. She kicks a boulder in my path that I'm forced to tunnel through. And you're not used to fighting without ESP! I stop drilling and fly up and over the building, landing 4 hooves down on her. Somehow, I didn't really feel like announcing myself for this fight. Pinkie Pie hits me in the face with a pie at close range. Ugh! Not even a flavor I like? Sorry, Dashi. I shake the mess off me. I clear my eyes just in time to see Pinkie Pie take in so much air she puffs up like a balloon, then blow it into a little bugle that unleashes a flood of party balloons. I zoom straight up, out of the way. The tree behind me isn't so lucky and gets tangled up until it looks like a circus prop. I kick a nearby cloud and turn it into a thundercloud, breaking it into pieces, sending 1 lightning bolt into it that zaps into 2 of the others, then zap into 4 of the others, then 8, until I have a miniature lightning storm ring down on Pinkie Pie. Pinkie dives under trees that take the lightning instead. I generate enough electricity to shape into a lightning crossbow, and Pinkie Pie aims her party cannon again. We both cringe away as our shots fired. Our projectiles knock each other off course. Funny, I didn't feel like shouting out fancy names for my moves. No, not funny at all. Instead of coming straight towards her, I zoomed straight, then did a set of sharp turns leaving a half-square rainbow light behind me and double-kicked Pinkie Pie, sending her into a tree that shattered from the impact. Pinkie Pie bounced back up and curled herself up like she was doing a cannonball, bouncing around the trees like an insane super ball, striking me from random angles. Ow! I electrified my entire body. Pinkie Pie's poofy mane got even more wild from the shock, and she fell over twitching. I landed outside the range of her hooves so she couldn't try to sucker punch me. Instead, she licked me right in the face with that freaky long tongue of hers. Ugh! I grabbed her tongue and swung her into another tree. The moment she was behind it, she slammed into me from behind, making me let go, and suddenly she was beside me, hitting me in the face with a big rubber chicken. Both our skulls were too thick for a simple knockout strike. On the plus side, we didn't have to worry about brain damage. I formed lightning around one wing, augmenting a wing sword technique, and cut her absurd weapon in 2. Pinkie then pulled out a huge carnival hammer that I had to avoid being squashed flat by. The moment I turned away to get some distance, she was in front of me and hit me so hard I went into the boulder, shedding it to dust. I shot up high again, and Pinkie Pie jumped onto the treetops. I condensed the water in the air around me into hailstones and shot them forward. Pinkie released a slew of party poppers with the punch of one-shot pistols. Our shots continued to deflect off each other, shooting off limbs of trees and impeding themselves in their bark. Pinkie dropped out of sight. I kicked behind me, making direct contact with her stomach, and saw her pop back onto the treetops like I had kicked her from the ground. Pinkie blew a whistle, and a piñata of a green pony the size of a parade float rose up below Pinkie as it mimicked her motions and tried to bear hug me. I channeled lightning into my forehoof and vibrated it like mad, gripping it with my other forehoof, and punched the thing right in the center, making the giant piñata fall apart into an explosion of candy. Pinkie fell from a perch, but threw streamers that caught me by one leg. I broke it off again, but Pinkie used the moment to catch my other leg, then my tail. I created a sort of solidified lightning that cut through the streamers faster than before, and beat my wings so hard and fast they sent a mini rainbow right at her, sending her flying until she caught herself in her streamers. Ah! Not doing that again. My wings feel like I broke them for a sec, but it was just strain, and I was flying again before I lost much distance. Pinkie took the opening to stuff candy in her mouth, not even undoing the wrappers. I created a lightning spear and shot it at her streamers, throwing one after another. Pinkie Pie threw out a horde of pony-sized party balloons, hopping and bouncing on each one to keep her airborne, putting out 2 for every one I popped. I spun like a tornado to suck them all towards me at once, but before she could fall far, she shot a rocket launcher straight at me. I had to stop my spin to dodge. I zoomed at her in chaotic patterns, hitting from one side and then another, but every time I did, I had to move to block her as she came from nowhere just out of my line of sight. I moved faster than her eyes could track, almost making it look like I was teleporting, and she moved farther than she should be able to in the space between blinks. It became pink and blue flashes in the air. She moved like water as I tried to grapple her for an electric melee. Tapping into more reserves than I thought I had, I sent a sphere of lightning in every direction, forcing Pinkie Pie to retreat. I threw a couple of feathers from my wings, lightning arcing between them, being sure to keep my eyes fixed on Pinkie Pie. Know where she had to be. Don't leave any doubt, any possibility she could be somewhere else. Don't let her slip through the cracks. Pinkie Pie, even without sheeting, was too nimble and fast to be caged. Pinkie Pie fired more fireworks at the feathers, creating the pieces of the cage, destroying them faster than I could make them. Lightning and hail rained down on her. She fought back with a factory's worth of firework rockets, lighting up the sky with every collision. The bangs, smoke, thunder, and bright colors covered the entire orchard. It was a wonder none of the sparks caught the trees below on fire. There couldn't be a pony in Ponyville who didn't see our light show. The noise was deafening, the lights were blinding, but we just kept going. Lightning arced between the blooming blasts. It was like we were tearing the entire sky apart. We both lost track of each other in the roaring smoke and lights, and before we knew it, both of us were staring down each other's faces, inches from each other. We froze. They could both end the fight right here. It was just a matter of who moved first. A heavy-duty firework rocket lay in her hooves, enough lightning to power a city in 9. Except, neither of us wanted to end our best friend. The storm subsided. Not taking our eyes off each other, both effectively at knife point, we slowly floated back down towards the ground, landing softly. Like waking up from a dream, the haze in their heads began to clear. I wanted to blame the intruder for this too, but it didn't feel right. I didn't feel free from another's control. I just felt tired. Both Pinkie and I realized we were sucking wind, and our coats covered in sweat and dust. Well, Pinkie Pie huffed. Looks like fighting didn't solve anything, did it? I dispel my lightning and summon a smaller batch in the shape of a scythe. I meet Pinkie's eyes sadly and sigh, letting my body go slack. I bring the scythe up to my neck, holding it in both forehooves. Closing my eyes, gritting my teeth, I dump all the electricity I can into the blade. Tashi! I hear her scream and throw away the rocket she was holding. She brushes close. I flip the scythe around to shave my wings and release the scythe's form, letting the lightning rush into the fallen feathers as Pinkie flies right into the mess of them. The lightning cage forms around Pinkie Pie nearly instantly, leaving barely enough space to open her mouth. Sorry, Pinkie Pie, I said, unable to look her in the face. Just hope you can forgive me after you're unbrainwashed. I formed a lightning spear. I need you not to fall if you break out. I know this isn't going to make this hurt less, but I'm sorry. I stab her in the leg. Then the pink piñata I'd caught exploded in massive confetti, streamers, and party stickers, slipping through the holes in the cage and wrapping me up tight like a present. No! The real Pinkie Pie hops down in front of me as the ribbons wrap themselves around the nearby trees. I'm sorry too, Dashi, Pinkie Pie said with a sincerity that rattled Applejacks. I can't let you go after Bright Night. Pinkie Pie, listen to me. Don't you feel your memories messed up? Like there's big holes, stuff you should remember but don't, and stuff you do know but shouldn't? Lots of ponies acting shallow, haven't you noticed? Pinkie Pie stared blankly at me for several seconds, then flinched. Her eyes widened, and she trembled. No, not again. Please, not again. Not again. I didn't do anything wrong. It was just to have every pony be happy. Who cares if it doesn't all make sense? Isn't the point that we were all friends and happy? Pinkie Pie, Bright Night is having us all be zombies. There's no telling what trouble Equestria is in without the 6 of us to deal with the big nasties. Please, Luna, don't hurt Minty! Pie screamed, hugging herself. What? Star Song, Drilla Puzzlement, Thistle Whistle, I miss you so much! Why did the mean Alicorns and Draconic I have to seal you away? Pinkie Pie, what are you talking about? Who are these ponies? They were my friends. They were my friends with you and Rarity. Only you can't remember them. Did Bright Night do that? That brat was erasing ponies from my memories? That evil little creature. Gilda, is that why I couldn't remember her? No, she didn't do anything! Stop blaming her! Pinkie Pie, she's a witch and has to be stopped. I can't let you go if you're going to hurt a little filly. I have to tell our friends about this. I'll just leave you wrapped up for a bit. Unless you want a pinky promise you won't hurt Bright Night. I can't. No, Pinkie Pie. A pink Pegasus filly with a blonde mane and blue eyes zipped past me. Damn it, the brat is back. She flies toward me and cuts me loose? What? Bright Night, get back! No, Rainbow can't afford to get trapped. What? Pinkie Pie, I'm sorry, there's a lot you don't know, and we can't be sure if it's safe to tell you or not after you lost your home before. I'm sorry it wasn't made better. What? Then from above, Twilight Sparkle landed in front of me. I blame myself, she sighed, then flipped through the book she was holding. There was a bright flash, blinding me. Next thing I knew, Twilight was carrying me as she galloped away from the orchard and out of Sweet Apple Acres, her book hanging in a bag alongside her. Don't worry, Bright Night will keep Pinkie Pie from doing anything reckless. What is going on here? Why did the witch free me? What game is this? I don't get it! Bright Knight isn't a witch. You're getting hung up on the wrong pony, Rainbow Dash. And taking on a Pinkie Pie at her full strength and without a weight of the world on her shoulders when you're distracted and unfocused wasn't very bright. Hey, I was plenty focused! No, you weren't. Or you wouldn't have turned Applejack's orchard into a war zone. My heart was of ice. Celestia, I didn't... What am I gonna tell Applejack? Applejack began drowning cider like it was water in the desert the moment she saw you fighting. She fought through it to restrain her brother from apple-bucking in the middle of your big, pointless fight. Is she okay? She stopped feeling compelled to drink the moment your fight stopped. I'm sorry. Hey, how do you even know that? Spotted out on my way over. Twilight, are you going to quit being a jerk and tell me what's going on already? I yelled, fighting off the urge to hit her square in the face. Pinkie Pie began talking nuts back there. Pinkie Pie has traumas you don't know about, ones that were covered up when this all happened. And I can't tell you, you need to figure it out for yourself. I can't spoon-feed you the answers. Neither you nor any of our friends will be able to escape if you reject the answers. And you will unless you figure them out on your own. I'm sorry, Rainbow Dash. If I had a better way, I'd do it. I hate seeing you hurt like this. You and Pinkie Pie, and Seabelle, and all the rest. I'm sorry, Rainbow Dash. I apologize. I haven't been a very accepting friend. Huh? You've changed, Rainbow Dash. You've changed so much from when we first met. But I wanted to pretend that you were still that Rainbow Dash. That you'd act like her. That you'd make the choices she would. That you'd figure things out her way. It was selfish for me to think that. And I'm sorry, Rainbow Dash. I'm so sorry. I thought if Pinkie Pie is still Pinkie Pie, that I could just pretend that you were still that Rainbow Dash. I'm sorry, Rainbow. Was she crying? I didn't know how to respond to that. Twilight, it's... Can't believe I was saying this. It's okay. I lied. Thank you, Rainbow Dash. I can't give the answers or explain all the rules, but I can remind you of what I told you. I told you the answer lay with some pony close to you. If Bright Knight is standing in for some pony else, then they can't be some pony close to you, can they? I meekly nodded. But you were right about one thing. The one you can remember not remembering is very important to you. How can you possibly know about that? Bright Knight told me, and you told her, remember? Oh, yeah. I'll admit, your theory that Bright Knight was a malignant insert was reasonable given you what you knew. What's a malignant insert? Then I thought about it. Wait, it's gotta be something like a pod pony, right? Essentially, Twilight said. But wasn't there something wrong with your theory, just a little? If she was an insert who stole another pony's life to be close to you, and made nearly every pony into zombies, and was rewriting your life story to include her instead, wouldn't some pony like that have given themselves a larger role in things? If they did all this because they admired you, why have almost none of your adventures since your memories became blurry featured her in a major role? Why isn't she being saved every other adventure? Why isn't she saving you? Why isn't she there helping you beat the villains nearly every time? Think about it, Rainbow Dash. When you were a filly and fixated on the Wonderbolts, and you had so many fantasies of being with them, was it as a technician or a flight coordinator? Which was it? I was one of them. Spitfire's partner, wing pony of Soren, or they were both my wing ponies. Exactly. Someone this fixated wouldn't have just been one of the main characters. They'd have been in the starring role. If this was her fantasy, she'd be right near the action. You're saying whoever is causing this is a lot closer to home. See? You'd never have accepted that if I just told you. I sighed. Of course you can't just tell me. As I said, you have to figure it out for yourself. I hear distant thunder. I looked up. Clouds were darkening. There wasn't rain scheduled for the day. No, but it fits your mood, doesn't it? Twilight said, like we were having a friendly chat. I didn't respond. Twilight had slowed to a simple trot. Can you answer a question, Rainbow Dash? What is it about the way this Ponyville is that makes you so upset? Let me be Tarek's advocate. You're loved by everyone. Our friends all think of you as a hero. No evil or danger will ever strike that's more than you can handle. You'll always win in the end, because you're the hero. Like you've always wanted. And what about their lives? Every pony else's hopes and dreams. Having every pony else just be cardboard cutouts who are only there to smile and nod. Isn't that how you treated them anyway, element of loyalty? I care about them. Because without their cheers, you're empty? No, that's not... The Tash doesn't need... They're my friends and herd mates. I want them to be awesome the way they're awesome. I couldn't bear leaving things the way they are. Every pony is in a jam. I want to help them, just as I know my friends would help me. Doesn't that just make it business? An equal trait of knowing others will protect you if you protect them? I feel myself tense up. I I know most will never pay me back, and I'm fine with that. I know most won't be building statues in my honor or giving me free stuff. And I know most are gonna go back to their own busy lives instead of talking about how great I am. But that's not the point. The point is being faithful to those who are smaller than you, the same as you, or bigger than you. There you are, Rainbow Dash. She smiled like I hadn't been there this whole time. But what happens when the small and the big collide? I'd save them both. What if you couldn't? I'd have to. But what if you had to choose? I'd choose both. But what if you could only choose one? Please, Rainbow Dash, tell me. I think I'd have to be there. I wish the world would always give you a black and white choice, Rainbow Dash. I truly wish the world really was that kind. Maybe that wouldn't be so bad. I wasn't listening anymore. I had to figure out everything to save River Pony. Why me? Why did it have to be me? I'm not the thinker, I'm the doer. Twilight's the egghead, Rarity's the pony who notices stuff, Pinkie knows every pony in Ponyville, Fluttershy knows animals. Applejack is... She's honesty. You'd think she'd be the one to help get through this mess. I'm the least qualified element of harmony to do this. This isn't my leg of the table. What am I supposed to do? There's no pony to tell me. And there's no pony I can ask. Celestia, Luna, Cadence, help me. Why couldn't this be a problem where I just need to punch some pony out? Only adventures here. Jerk shows up, I beat up Jerk, the end. I've never had to do any thinking. The filly I remembered not remembering is the key. She was important to me. She was close to me. She has to be the one. Bright Knight, she doesn't fit the mold. The filly I remember not remembering is nothing like her. Bright Knight likes soccer. The real filly liked her scooter. Bright Knight is a teacher's pet. The real filly's favorite class was recess, like me. Bright Knight is a girly girl. The real filly is a tomcolt, like I always tried to be. Bright Knight takes care of her mane and likes doing others' manes. The real filly didn't care how her or others looked. Bright Knight is a good singer. The real filly, she wasn't as good as me, or the average pony. She was a lot like me. Was she my clone? No, she imitated me. I was her role model. She always wanted to be around me. Bright Knight lives and the real filly lives. I don't know where either of them live. I never questioned it. I never thought about it. Bright Knight's mom is a hairdresser. The real filly, I don't know what her mom does. Or her dad. I never met them. I never met her parents, not even once. I never saw them. They were never mentioned. I wouldn't think about that normally, but with all of this, was it another hole in my memory? No, there isn't an outline like with the orange filly. It's just not there. Twilight, as my friend, can you tell me where Bright Knight's parents live? I waved my hooves in the air to do little quotations. I've never met them here in Ponyville, let alone seen them. None of our friends have ever mentioned seeing or meeting them either. But she's just a friend of a little sister of a friend to most of us. Who'd stop to think that was odd? So, no pony has seen them, ever? So it would seem. Doesn't make much sense for a foal we see so much of, does it? So, Bright Knight, the filly she's filling in for, her parents, they're like Applejacks? I guess that would make her a ward of the kingdom then, wouldn't it? Good thing Ponyville has a good orphanage. I guess so. Wait, since when?
You know, just for fun, I think I'll spare all the foals at the orphanage the pain of not having a mom while I'm here. Bwahaha!
It's funny, I just remembered. Fleetfoot has a cold and the others are all booked up. Maybe after we solve this you'd like to be a Wonderbolt for a day? It's a charity performance for Ponyville orphans, so maybe... No thanks, give them to the orphanage. But they're for you. And I want you to give them to the orphanage instead. Since when does a tiny town like Ponyville even have an orphanage? I don't remember Ponyville having an orphanage before my memories get wonky, but I know it exists now. It didn't exist before, did it? No, it didn't. But why would whoever did this add an orphanage? Just so I could save them? Then why haven't any of my adventures involved them directly? Not even once? Doesn't make much sense, does it? In any game or performance, everything serves some function for the adventure or the story. They wouldn't just drop it in there and then forget about it. Unless, of course, it takes more effort to remove it. No. Whoever is doing this, they aren't perfect. Cloudsdale's ponies were kept in, I don't know, storage until I showed up. They wouldn't add a whole new place they'd have to cover for and keep track of alongside every pony already there. That place, it's like Bright Knight. It doesn't belong here. Assuming, of course, it even exists. Huh? Maybe it's one of those places mentioned but never shown. Maybe you're getting yourself worked up over nothing. Have you seen it? Do you know where it is? I racked my brain. I was sure I'd seen it. I had to have. Didn't I? I'd flown over every inch of Ponyville. I knew this town like the back of my hoof. There was no way I could miss it. Where was it? Is it near the center of Ponyville? No. Is it right next to Everfree Forest? No. Is it really close to Ponyville Schoolhouse, Golden Oaks, the hospital? No. Maybe? So it's inside Ponyville? No! It's outside Ponyville, near Whitetail Forest, between Ponyville and Canterlot, beside a river, the only building around. Where no pony has to look at it, where no pony has to think about it, where every pony can pretend it doesn't exist. No pony, Rainbow Dash? Then how do you know it exists? Because others told you, right? But why would others mention it so often if they were the ones pretending it didn't exist? What is that supposed to mean? I'm sorry, Rainbow, but you really do need to figure it out for yourself, she said, flinching as my wings spread out, sensing my impeding exit. I know I'm sending mixed signals, but I can't let you retreat to answers that are just what you want to be right instead of what you need to know, or you'll just keep hiding. Hide? I don't hide! Without warning, she reared up and I slid off her back. Ow, hey! Prove it. This time, she didn't say it with any smugness. I looked around where Twilight had dropped me off, near Whitetail Forest, between Ponyville and Canterlot, beside a stream, like I had said. The ground around us was as flat as a chessboard. What was this lump in my throat? The rain started to fall. Lightning struck in the distance. There was only one building in sight. There was a chain-link fence around it with barbed wire, clearly labeled as electrified. The green grass was neatly cut like a carpet. It was shaped like boxes stacked on top of each other. The whole place seemed to be made of some reddish-brown wood. It was covered in shadow no matter how I looked at it. I couldn't tell how many floors it had. 3, 5, 2? It hurt my eyes just to look at it. The windows all cast a yellow light from within. They didn't form a face. That might have actually been more comforting. Out of the corner of my eye, I swore I saw the trees moving like veins. They were completely normal when I looked properly. In big bold letters above the front door were the words Chains of Love Orphanage. Silhouettes of dancing foals were cut out between the words. No, they weren't moving. It was just a trick of the light. The lump in my throat sank down to the pit of my stomach. My wings pressed hard against my body. My hoofs were shaking. I clenched my teeth together so hard they ached. It was like the whole place wanted to lean over and fall on me. What the hell was I doing here? I had to get away! I turned to fly away. Why is Twilight Sparkle in my way? So you're going to run away again? I hold my hooves to my head. I don't run away! Then what do you think you're doing? My breathing wasn't even. My heart was jackhammering. I creaked my head around, every feeling in my gut and thought in my head screaming at me to fly away and not look back. Don't go in there. You won't like what you find. Get away while you still can. There will be no escape if you go in. Escape. Fly, fly, fly. It wasn't a monster ready to eat me. It was a black whirlpool ready to pull me under and crush me. I was on the event horizon. What was I still doing here? I turned to get the Tartarus out of there before I ran to the glue maker, when Twilight made me look into her eyes. Rain, tell me, is this what you want, or what you think you want? Stop asking me questions! It's so you can get the answers, Rain. Why did her calling me that hurt so much? She kept getting in my way. Shouldn't I be faster than this? What did her calling me that do to me? Blow through her, move her aside, get away, stay safe. I can't blow through her. She's my friend. My body goes limp and I sit down. No way forward, no way back. I'm stuck. That filly I couldn't remember the name of. Was she waiting for me to rescue her? Did she need my help? Was she outside Ponyville waiting for me to come back to her? Did she send Bright Knight to help and I attacked her friend instead? This place that wasn't supposed to be here, and a filly who was supposed to be here but wasn't. If she was the key, was this place the lock? Locks held something closed. Did this place hold Ponyville closed? Why the fuck was I so scared? It didn't make sense. Freaky building, weird weather, kooky trees. This was on my meh list. What was I scared of? How did my gut know that I didn't? Twilight, can you tell me if there's something terrible in there? Or is it all in my head? Rain, I can't, because only you can decide whether it's horrible. But I can tell you what will happen if you don't go in there. Nothing. Ever. Huh? You can fly away, go to bed, and forget that place even exists. When you wake up, this will have been a bad dream. Every pony will be happily cheering you and your friends on as you beat up bad guys. You won't notice anything wrong, no pain, doubts, or fears. And you can just go on having self-contained adventures that could happen in any order, With all your friends frozen as they are, never growing, forever. Is that what you want, Rain? He slowly got to my hooves. It isn't what I want for our friends, or their friends, or their friends' friends. It's our responsibility. Like it or not. We're here for Ponyville. Ponyville isn't here for us. I forgot all about the horror house behind me as black lightning struck my brain. I felt like vomiting as puzzle pieces slide together. Twilight is... I choked. It's the one behind all of this, one of the elements of harmony. I cringed, waiting for her flaming retort. That's possible. What? No, how can you call yourself loyal if you suspect your friends? No scolding me for not trusting them? Rainbow Dash, if one of us really is behind this, aren't you doing the most loyal thing you can by stopping them from doing something so horrible? That's what a truly loyal friend would do. But still, what brings you to that theory? You said it yourself. No pony would go to all this trouble, have it all centered around me, and then not be right there with me, part of the team. And they'd have to really care about me, or I would be their sidekick in here. The worst part was the idea that one of us had thrown away our responsibility to every pony by trapping us all in this gilded cage, forcing them to be my personal robot cheerleader squad. There's no way my friends could be that cruel. Twilight looked to where the sun was hidden behind the clouds. Could be one of us, or someone behind the scenes you've never met face to face. Life's always uncertain. No one can be certain of anything until you grasp the truth with your own hooves. You wanted to be the hero who saves everyone in Ponyville? Now's your chance for real, Rain. I still feel scared, but I don't feel the same terror from earlier. I feel a little calm, really. So, this is really it. If you have the courage to move forward. I turn around, facing this stupid orphanage that needs some pony to tell it it's got the wrong neighborhood. Good luck. Thanks, Twilight. She's gone. I don't feel scared, or confused, or freaked like I should. There was this weird acceptance of it, like when you're in a dream. I'm sorry to see her gone. Are you really surprised? She was still my friend, and friends are loyal to each other, even if they got on each other's nerves. The whole dang place didn't seem so scary now. Fly over the fence, no problem. I skip the grassy yard and land right at the front doors. Locked. I've got your key right here. Kapow! Leaving the doors with a personal autograph of my back hooves, I marched inside without a second thought.